Hello, Coach Jason here. Today we're looking at opening principles, which is part of Chapter 10 for the Intro to Chess course. Opening principles really are about center control. That's the main thing that you're trying to accomplish in the opening. It's controlling the center of the board. You got to make sure you develop your pieces, especially your minor pieces, your knights and bishops. You want to get them towards the center so they're having an effect there. And then, as always, we need king safety. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at some examples of openings that will highlight these three principles. As far as controlling the center of the board, generally I mean the D and E. We'll look at the D and E file and the fourth and fifth rank. That is these four squares in the center, D4, D5, E4, and E5. Those are the center squares. And we want to control those squares because whoever does control those squares is going to have more freedom of movement of their pieces, and they're going to have like anchors to support their pieces in attacks. I'm just going to start an opening. I really like playing this move E4. It sets up for minor piece development, which is the second factor, the second principle we're trying to keep in mind. It is directly attacking the center of the board. It's attacking the D5 square. It is also occupying the center of the board, so a strong opening move. Another strong opening move for black might be something like this. So this knight also attacks the center of the board. It's attacking E5, it's attacking D4, so that's much better than something like, you'll see beginners make moves like this. Now, you really want to develop your minor pieces towards the center of the board in the opening. This knight over here is not attacking the center of the board. This is actually a rather terrible move that I often see beginners make. Now, black's knight only made one move and white's knight only made one move. But black's knight is twice as powerful, more than twice as powerful in its position than is the H3 knight for white. And the reason is, if you look, this knight attacks both E5 and D4, which are central squares, and it also attacks A5 and B4. So it's got four forward squares that it's attacking. Meanwhile, this sorry knight on H3 is only attacking two forward squares, and none of them are central squares. So we would never play that. I would never play that move. I'd definitely play a more centralizing move like this. And, maybe black plays this. Again, same reasons. It's attacking the center of the board. It's opening up lines for the bishop. This is excellent. Probably something like this. And this is leaning towards a game called the Gauchio Piano, although this is a transposition of that game. We didn't start out the normal way. Both black and white getting their minor pieces, their knights and bishops involved. There's a serious struggle for the center of the board. We also want to get castled as well, so, white could castle here. That's the king safety factor. At some point, if all the bishops and knights and pawns are all tussling, fighting in the center of the board, we're going to want to get our king out of the center. So usually castling is something you do in the first 10 moves or so, and it's black to move. So maybe black develops this knight, is attacking this pawn, so maybe we defend it. And again, this knight's attacking the center of the board, so maybe black castles here. And this is kind of what we're shooting for in the opening. You want to get all your pieces developed though, so we're not fully developed at this point. So both players still trying to get their pieces involved. Something like this. We're nearly in a fully developed position for white. This is not necessarily a known opening or anything. In fact, yeah, this move here would be really strong. No way to... It really messes up the king safety of black. But I was looking more for something like this. And this is a fully developed position for white. We've got all of our minor pieces are in play here. They are affecting the center of the board. All of them affect the center of the board. Even this bishop over here in G5 affects the center of the board because this knight isn't able to participate in center control because it's pinned to the queen. So we've got all of our minor pieces developed. We've got our rooks connected, which is actually part of development in the opening, and the king is castled. So this is a fully developed position for white, and black is nearly there. Black still needs to get his light squared bishop involved. Maybe he does something like this. He'd like to get his queen off the back rank. This is the problem here. We play this move here, and there's really not a lot that black can do in this position. So if we take, he's got to take take with the pawn, and that's not great for black. But yes, this is a fully developed position. We're looking to get our knights and bishops involved early. We want to control the center of the board. You should not make a pawn move in the opening, so before you're fully developed. So white's fully developed here, so now they could probably make some pawn moves, but you should not make a pawn move unless it attacks the center of the board and or helps you develop your bishops. So in the opening, that's before you're fully developed, such as white is here, you should not move a pawn unless it's attacking the center of the board directly or aiding in the development of your bishops. As far as aiding in developing your bishops, I'm talking about something like this. Well, black might do something like this. Pushing this pawn. That pawn seems like it's strange. It's not attacking the center of the board or anything like that. But the reason for it, I'm going to play a little bit unorthodox here, is to get this bishop developed on this long diagonal. Now this bishop is really powerful here. It's in a great spot. It's hard to attack, and it is breathing fire down this long diagonal here, including two central squares. So that's what I mean by you should not move a pawn unless attacking the center or aiding in the development of your bishop. So in the opening, do not move a pawn unless it attacks the center of the board or aids in the development of your bishops. If you're doing that, if you're just moving pawns, you're not increasing your opportunity. When you get your knights and bishops into the game, they have more options and they can have more control on the board than simple pawn pushes. So this concludes our video on opening principles. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell, as I will be putting out at least 2 videos per week. Remember, we want to be thinking about, in the opening, we're thinking about center control. That's the main principle that we're trying, that's the main thing we're trying to accomplish, is center control. But you've also got to develop your pieces. Your pieces need to be involved as well in that control of the center of the board. And then, of course, we cannot forget about king safety. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.